Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Kydrees Burks podcast and our second episode of the Sunglass Show. And today we have our first guest, Will Zapata. You guys probably don't know him. I don't know him very well, but I am very excited to get to learn a little bit more about him and for you guys to learn a little bit about his story. Thanks again for supporting the podcast, and I hope that you enjoy this first guest. So without further ado, I will allow you to kind of introduce yourself, Will, and tell everybody where you're from, what's going on in your life, and yeah, what's up?
What's going on, guys? To all my listeners out there, viewers, first of all, I want to say thank you, God, for this day. Tomorrow is not promised.
Amen.
And thank you, Kydrees, for having me on the podcast.
My pleasure.
Super cool. I love the setup here so far, and I'm excited to see where this goes. So my name is Will Zapata. I am from Southern California, and I'm at Penn State. It's my fourth year. I'm going to be graduating in May with a degree in biobehavioral health. For those of you who don't know that, that's pretty much just like biology mixed with a little bit of psychology. And yeah, I'm excited, at Penn State this year. It's kind of bittersweet. I don't know, what year are you?
I'm a third year. No.
Third year? It's kind of bittersweet when you become a senior because it's like, I'm definitely ready to leave a little bit.
I bet.
But at the same time, Penn State has a lot to offer, and it's really been cool to network a lot this year and still discover new things that I didn't know Penn State had.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that question was you're a senior now. Is this your last semester?
This is, yeah.
Okay, so like you're in your fourth year, and would you say that you utilize the resources here at Penn State to the best of your ability? Because I can personally say, I mean, this is my third year, my sixth semester, and I literally just found out this week that we get free like legal services and things like that. There's just so many resources here that get swept under the rug for a lot of students. So you being a fourth year student, to hear that you're still learning about resources and opportunities here, it's just insane to know like how big this school actually is.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Sometimes I feel like if you're paying attention, you can learn something new about Penn State every day. And coming from California to the East Coast, I mean, that's pretty much almost exactly across the entire country from SoCal to State College.
Little culture shock?
A little bit of a culture shock, yeah. But it's been really fun, and I think freshman year was a little difficult, kind of just jumping into a new experience, going to school, this huge school. But as I slowly started to figure out, I think like sophomore year, I would say, is when I really started to like what's at Penn State? Like, what do they have to offer?
Right.
And it's been cool since then until now to kind of just keep exploring things on campus, whether it's a new building, or something new downtown, or a new professor, connecting with a new professor.
All of those things are really great, and that's something that I think about a lot when I'm walking to class and things. Like, I started out in the golf management program, and now I'm in media studies. And you walk to the hub, you walk past all these biology and sciences laboratories, and I look at them and I just think I will never step foot in some of these buildings. Like even the biobehavioral health building, some of those labs. Like, I've never been in a lab here. I don't even know what they look like. But one of my goals before I do leave here is to just like see what Penn State does have to offer. And I think where I'm going to start is that building right when you going past East, right across the street from Pollock, that has that little like
The science
overhang.
building?
Yeah, the science
Yeah,
building.
yeah.
That building is so sick. I just
Mhm.
want to kind of see what's in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's insane. I remember the first day that I actually came to Penn State. Um, I walked through that little garden area that the building hangs over, and I was just like
Yeah.
kind of amazed by the
Peaceful
building
little
itself.
spot.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, the architecture is pretty cool. One of the new things I just learned today was that Penn State has the most CEOs in the United States,
really.
which is pretty cool.
See,
But we have such a huge network, so it kind of makes sense.
yeah, that does make sense with being like the largest alumni network
Mm-hmm.
across the country. But that's like that's so huge for especially us because those are people that will help us before uh, Florida State student. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So having that network is just insane. But I love talking about Penn State, and I love to talk about academic journey, but that's just such a small part of who we are, and I'm sure that that's um,
Yeah.
just a milestone, like kind of a stepping stone into uh, growing up and having to actually be an adult, which I'm looking forward to. But oh, it gets real sometimes, right?
Yeah. I think you definitely have more responsibility as you age. Um, but I kind of still look at it as, um, trying to have or embody that kind of mindset of like wonder.
Yeah.
Like when you're like in kindergarten and, growing up as a little kid, I think that, you know, having that sense of like curiosity and wonder will
Yeah.
kind of keep you away from, oh, I'm turning 24, dude. Where did the time go by? Like, it's always
Right.
funny, like,
Yeah.
like hearing people say that, and it's like you say that every year, so it's like,
Yeah, it's just like you said. It's having that like still childlike quality of
right.
just general curiosity that
Mhm.
like literally that's it. I for the viewer, I'm pointing at a sewing machine that I bought over the break. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace for $25, and it was in the box, brand new. I was like,
Shout out Facebook Marketplace.
yeah, seriously, I can't pass up this offer.
Yeah.
But I bought it, and like that's just I'm very curious about fashion. I love to dress well, and I love to be creative. And the sewing machine, it was just another opportunity for me to feed my curiosity and try something new and learn a new skill in the making of it. But yeah, just having that like kind of childlike curiosity is so important in growing up.
I think it's nice to always have like something that's like playful like that, whether it's like learning a new skill, like how to sew, or just like a random activity that kind of lets you zoom out from like the everyday grind.
Yeah, without a doubt, and something that you actually kind of hope to fail at, right? It's an activity that you're like a child building with Legos. You're trying it out. You're seeing what you can build, and I might put a block in the wrong spot and make the Mona Lisa just look like a man or something. Like you know what I mean? It's just you can place the wrong block,
or you might step on a Lego,
or that, and but yeah, it's like you're going to misstep in some of these little activities like sewing, like even this podcast. You're like, I'm going to fail in doing these things, but the great thing about it is that I'm so curious about getting better, and I love doing it. Like this doesn't feel like work to me at all. This is something that is just so much fun to me that if I failed now, I'm fine to fail tomorrow. And you learn something from every failure, I believe, and it seems as though you believe the same. Well, at least you can learn from every failure. It's up to you to notice why you failed. But yeah, just having that like childlike curiosity and trying to build upon a skill that's outside of all of the things that you should already be good at.
Right.
Because like if I was as good at golf as I was sewing, I wouldn't know what to do. I'd rage. I'd probably break every club in my bag, and I would quit the game probably because that's something that I'm good at. Again, another thing would be like work, right? You want to be good at your job, and you're going to fail at your job, but you don't want to do it as much. You want that to be solid. So having something outside of, like you said, the grind that you can kind of be a kid and learn something new is so important, especially in our time now, in our early 20s. I really think that that's what sets the good and the great apart is who continues to try to learn and who doesn't, especially after college.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, it's kind of crazy. Like one of the things that has been new to me as far as like a realization is that I can kind of see like value in like everything that I'm doing in my day-to-day life. Like I feel like I can learn in every situation that I'm put into. And it's not that I'm like trying to learn. It's almost just like I feel like I'm able to have a perspective now that, for example, I'll use the example of jujitsu. I train jujitsu. I don't know if you have any martial arts backgrounds.
I wrestled, but
you wrestled?
No.
So take it like this. So I kind of look at a lot of things like this now. It's like, I could learn from Kale, the Penn State wrestling coach. I could learn something from him, but I could also learn something just as important or something completely different but relevant from someone who's literally just starting out in wrestling.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I know exactly what you're trying to say.
It's like the duality of it, of just like a lot of things, looking at it in two ways. I think you can learn a lot from anything.
Yes. And this because we were just talking before we started recording about how literally every person on this earth has something unique to them that they can teach you. And going into every interaction that you...
Whether intentionally teaching or not intentionally teaching.
Right, you're right. Yeah, so
you
like...
know what I mean?
Having that intention through every interaction that you come across, like having that optimism of like, oh, I can learn something from this person, shifts the way that you think about life in general and meeting new people and growing up.
Yeah.
It shakes the fear away from growing up a little bit with that kind of perspective. But could you talk me through? I'm gonna get up really quick and grab my water bottle.
Yeah.
But could you just talk me through like that kind of mindset shift that made you notice that everybody has something unique that you can learn from?
Take a second and think. Should I talk right now?
Me too.
Yeah, I think I could probably just use the same example again. I mean, when someone's put into something where it's their first time, they're looking at it completely new. And so oftentimes I think we have growing up with, something that we experience every day or something we see every day, such as a building or a water bottle. we already have these like patterns and experiences that we've had for so many years before us. And I think having a mindset of looking at a lot of things like it's completely new to you
Mm-hmm.
allows you to like it opens up a lot of doors.
Yeah, I completely agree. Was there ever like an instance? I'll give you an example. So I worked at um, a golf course called Eaglesmere Country Club.
Where's that at?
It's in the wild of Pennsylvania. It's northeastern Pennsylvania.
Northeast. Pretty nice.
Kind of north central. It's
really
beautiful area.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because
Is it country club? You said
country club. Yep.
Okay.
It's a little town on top of a mountain with a man-made lake, and there's one road around the lake, and there's a bunch of houses and cottages, like vacation homes. Families spend their summers in Eaglesmere, and it's just when you go in, there's a sign that says Eaglesmere, the town that time forgot. It's you live up here. You're 45 minutes away from the closest grocery store. Like, it's in the sticks. But it is absolutely beautiful. And I got the opportunity to work up there, and I had free housing. I made a bunch of really good friends. I'm actually going up there this weekend. They do a winter event called the Toboggan Slide, where you toboggan from the top of a hill out onto the lake.
What's toboggan?
It's like a sled with metal rails that you ride.
I like the sound of that.
You ride down.
Sounds dangerous.
You go up to 50 miles an hour on this thing.
Jeez.
And you pile like 4 to 6 people on a sled that goes down 13 inches, like ice block that's 13 inches thick, and you just go down this hill, reaching speeds up to 45 to 50 miles an hour, out onto the lake, and then you walk back up the hill, and then you go back down, walk back up.
Oh, the lake's frozen though?
The lake is frozen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, the lake has a good 12, 13 inches of
sounds like a roller coaster.
Ice, but it'll be a bunch of fun. Beside the point. So I worked at this country club, and one of the first members I met, actually I won't say his name, nickname, we call him Boom Boom. And Boom Boom, he was like that one member that just kind of paid the bare minimum. He didn't, not particularly wealthy or anything. He's just kind of one of the old-timey guys that live around the area. And the average home price in Eaglesmere is probably $1.4 million or something around that area. You go five miles outside of Eaglesmere, and it's $100,000. Like, it's in the middle of absolutely nowhere. I started hunting a mountain over from Eaglesmere, and it's the most redneck place in the world. But
I feel like that's like classic PA. You have like some really nice niche area that you just don't even know about, and then you drive like a couple miles out, and there's just like nothing.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. But he's great, and I've learned so much from just that guy. Just playing rounds of golf with him busting it up with me, and he was a lifelong janitor at the high school, and
shout out janitor.
And the guy just had so much wisdom. He had so many years of experience. But then I also got to meet the wealthiest member of the golf course, in which he turned out to be one of my mentors. But he also gave me some great advice. And honestly, one's not better than the other. And that summer is really when my perspective changed on, this person, just because this person has like so many more accolades or whatever, they know better than this person. That's not true. I think it's all different and individual. Mm-hmm. So what I was kind of asking is, like, was there anyone's instance that made you kind of look at it and open your eyes to that reality?
Honestly, yeah. I YouTube, honestly. I think that ever since I started getting into like personal development and stuff,
Mhm.
I would watch a lot of YouTubers who like created that type of content. And I think naturally, the more I was interested in like developing and personal growth and like figuring out what I'm supposed to do here and going through that whole teenage, young adult phase of life, which we're still going through.
Yeah, how about it?
I think that just like naturally manifested into me kind of finding who I like the best, as far as like a content creator.
Yeah.
Or someone who I looked up to like as wisdom.
Who would you say that is now?
So there's this dude named Sadhguru. Shout out Sadhguru if any of you know.
I've heard of him.
You've heard of him?
I have,
yeah. He's what's considered a yogi, which is like a spiritual teacher. And I think that, every once in a while, I'll just like watch one of his YouTube videos and get some like new perspective on things. Because I do enjoy yoga for the benefits and meditation as well. So that kind of aligns with like my personal development is like looking to like Eastern wisdom, but not just like a guru or Eastern wisdom. I think that like I like in the past year, I like to take things a little bit from different genres of spirituality, like different religions. I think that I could I like learning about some of it because I think all of it is trying to get to the same thing, or I guess having similar beliefs, but it's just in different language.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's cool learning from other cultures. I'd say that too. Yeah, learning from other cultures provides me that like perspective of looking at it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. My last Sunglass Show episode, which was my first, I wasn't able to have anybody on, but I talked about faith and kind of my journey of faith, and it's been a battle. I mean, it is. It's something that I don't necessarily take lightly. And I think it's just something very important that for everybody to think about. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that everybody needs to be like I'm a Christian. Everybody doesn't need to be Christian. Everybody doesn't need to put themselves in a religion, but just thinking about your own spirituality and what faith means to you is just so important on this walk of life that we're all on. And I just know that there's a lot of people that go their entire lives without even thinking about what spirituality means to them, and that spirituality just gives you a different perspective on kind of a lot.
Yeah,
especially when you dive into it. Personally, in high school, I wasn't the biggest believer of anything. I was kind of just like floating through my high school years, telling everybody I was an atheist and agnostic and all that other jive. But the past couple months has been like really the snowball of my faith journey. So hearing that you're thinking about that spirituality side of it is just so important.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's sick. Yeah. So one other thing I did want to bring up was, and we talked about this over the phone, was is it called the Lost Courier Service?
Oh yeah, the Lost. I'm not sure if it's courier or courier.
Courier. I think it's courier.
Courier.
I think it is. Are you from? So are you from San Francisco?
No.
Where you?
I'm from SoCal, so like right in between Los Angeles and San Diego.
Gotcha.
In Orange County.
So your house isn't on fire.
No,
that's good.
Yeah, I'm like an hour south from LA, so
sweet.
Yeah.
But that was just interesting. I saw on your Instagram that there was a link to that. I just thought it was really interesting. I can pull up here. What it is.
Yeah, they have like a small website that talks about like their mission statement, kind of what they do. They're a nonprofit based out of San Francisco. Some cool dudes.
The Lost Soul Courier. And I will share my screen for this. Yeah.
That's kind of sick.
All
the viewers out there get to see it.
Just so that you guys, the viewer, can... I just want to bring to light this form of what it is. It's civic engagement. It's I love their mission here, and would love to share that with others. All right, so this is the Lost Courier, and we'll go into their mission. It's called the Lost Courier Collective. So our vision is to integrate harm reduction principles with bicycle therapy to provide a comprehensive approach to recovery and stability. Through cycling, we offer physical and mental health benefits, promoting positive coping mechanisms and foster connections to nurture and community. And foster connections to nature and community. Mm-hmm. Our programs focus on skill building and empowerment, encouraging individuals to take control of their recovery journey by incorporating harm reduction strategies. We create a supportive environment that prioritizes individual agency and well-being, ultimately promoting holistic healing and long-term recovery. Sorry, I botched that a little bit.
No, yeah, they're really cool. I mean, basically, I just see it on the website, but they are a group of guys, nonprofit organization. Well, I don't know if it's just guys. I don't know who else is in their organization, but they basically ride around bikes in San Francisco delivering harm reduction resources. So whether that be with fentanyl test strips or Narcan, it's all free. They go door to door, and they also kind of just patrol the streets of San Francisco. So they're doing great work, and yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and San Francisco it's
brutal there with that problem.
So stop sharing the screen there. Yeah, but I just wanted to bring that up because I feel like there's just so many people that have somebody in their lives that suffer from addiction or that has suffered from addiction. And that being in your bio just shows that you like to shed light on it. And that's something that I like to shed light on too. It's something that we don't talk about nearly enough.
Yeah, I don't think we do. And I think that everyone's addicted at the end of the day to something.
I agree.
Unless you're just like a monk or...
even then, you're addicted to peace. You're addicted to relaxation. You're addicted to being a monk.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, and it's not anybody's fault, really. It's like, it's hard not to, like, with how we grow up nowadays. And I think that a lot of times people don't know what they're addicted to or don't think that they're addicted to anything. But it's just like, drugs aside, it could just be something like that's subconscious that you don't even think about, that you do every day. So,
I mean, yeah, you can. People are addicted to eating. Eating's not bad.
For sure.
Eating's not bad. We need to eat to live. Mm-hmm. But there are eating addicts. And to your point, I do as well. I believe that everybody has an addiction of some sort. But I just wanted to bring that up because I think that we as people view addiction as something negative rather than just the thing itself.
Yeah.
And what addiction is. And us as judgmental creatures tend to try to hide that part of us
Mm-hmm.
due to you wanting acceptance from the environment around you. And so we don't have the conversations in the times that we need to that would lead us down a path of not being addicted. That would lead us down a path of recovery and uh, lead us down a better path. It's like if I would have met with a say that I was addicted to marijuana, hypothetically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
If I was addicted to marijuana and I've only been addicted to marijuana for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
If I have the conversation with somebody saying, "Oh, look, like I think I'm starting to um, form this addiction, and I'm putting my pride aside and having the conversation with no fear of judgment." If you can have that conversation with no fear of judgment, it's a lot easier to fight an addiction at 2 months than it is 5 years.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of us as people have these defects because we are human and going to we are going to do these things. It's kind of inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
But um, having the opportunity to have a non-judgmental kind of conversation and pushing it out to people to say, like, if you ever need to talk about anything, I'm somebody that um, would never turn anybody down or judge anybody for a conversation like that.
Likewise.
And I think that a lot of people would be very surprised by how many people are like us, in which we are.
Yeah,
we would love to have that conversation and love to have that kind of impact on somebody's life, just to be an ear to listen to, um, and hear about somebody else's problems. And I might not have any advice, right?
True.
Like I can't fix anything, but just being able to support somebody through maybe a relapse or withdrawal or just recovery in general, being able to have somebody there that is there for you and that can support you is so important. And we don't have enough talks about addiction. So I just wanted to bring that up and kind of give you your flowers for putting that out there. It's really cool. It's an amazing organization, and definitely needed some light shedded on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, this isn't necessarily a long show. I usually try to keep it around 30 minutes, but I feel like our conversation's flowing pretty well. Yeah. So I will push it over a couple more minutes.
I'm cool with it.
So yeah, tell me a little bit about your life outside of the professional life. What do you like to do? What are your kind of hobbies? I see like on your Instagram. I mean, you say I'm in the fashion thing. Like you know how to put an outfit on.
That was actually thanks to my homies. We went to Coachella.
That's sick.
And we just kind of threw in all of our clothes in one car and kind of just mixed and matched to create like a super outfit.
That's always fun. That is always fun. I have one of my friends. He has like the same size of closet as I do, and we like will exchange pieces here and there. But that's always a lot of fun. So like, what do you like to get into?
Dude, if I have, first of all, I just want to say if I had the option to right now, if money wasn't a problem, or not a problem, but if nothing really mattered to me, and I didn't feel like I needed to live for something bigger than myself, I would probably be in an island somewhere in the Caribbean looking for a Latina mommy.
Let's go. Let's go.
Probably doing yoga on an island, surfing somewhere.
That's sick.
That's in the future.
Right? We'll get there. We'll get there.
No, in all seriousness, I mean, yeah, if it's my free time, I grew up by the beach, so I'm really, my heart's in the Pacific.
Gotcha.
I love to surf. I actually, so I grew up going to the beach, but I really didn't started surfing until like 2 years ago. And it is so fun. It's one of those activities that's like combines everything in my life. I could just throw it into the ocean, and it's very peaceful and meditative.
Yeah, see, I've never tried surfing. I'm from like the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, but I've tried like a boogie boards. Those are always fun. But I'm more of a mountain man than I am surfer. But surfing like seems sick. It's not that big over here on the East Coast. We don't get the waves, if you would, and you guys have like year round surfing kind of in LA. Oh, around South California.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
fun, bro.
It's just a completely different way of life than what most of my viewers see. So like that's just so sick.
Yeah,
it's so unique.
I mean, there's a lot to do in California. There's a lot to do. Surfing's definitely, or just any time at the beach. I would definitely say I like to spend in my free time.
Sweet.
I told you I like to train jiu-jitsu. I like martial arts, which I haven't trained in a while because.
I was gonna ask if you do it here.
I did club wrestling here last year, which was really cool. Because it was a lot cheaper than going to a jiu-jitsu gym here. Yeah. But I'd say, yeah, I mean, I've always been an athlete my whole life. So I think being a lifelong student athlete is always like something that I want to continue doing.
Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu fills that kind of satisfaction for me.
You play any like traditional American sports growing up?
Yeah, baseball and soccer.
See, okay, so baseball is like the thing around where I'm from. We host the Little League World Series.
Yeah, you been?
Yeah, for sure. Every year. Yeah.
I went to I think when
I know the president.
Oh, really?
Of Little League, yeah. Wow. So
I went when Korea won.
You went when Korea won?
Yeah, Korea won. The purple jersey.
Yeah, was that when you were?
You know what?
Young. How old were you when this happened?
I
was there.
I don't know. I was probably like middle school.
Were you like like around the age that you could make it to the World Series? Like 12 to 13?
Yeah. I think it was like a little after.
Like 12, 13, 14 area. That's like that's when it's the best. Like if I go now, I just kind of go straight to the stadium and sit, watch the game.
Right.
But when you're 14, it's nice because you get to walk around. Always cute girls walking around too. So like it's
a cool environment. Yeah. I think a lot of people go there to.
It's sick. It is really sick, and it's really cool to have that, like something like that in my hometown, because if we didn't have that, we'd have nothing.
You guys got good Italian food, I will say that.
We do have really good Italian food.
I do like the Italian food in Williamsport.
What have you had?
I forget the name of the restaurant. If you named it, I might be able to tell you.
Was it downtown?
Yeah.
Franco's? DeSalvo's?
DeSalvo's.
You had DeSalvo's?
DeSalvo's.
Oh, DeSalvo's. DeSalvo's is amazing. That's
shout out my grandpa. He takes me there every once in a while.
Shout out Frank DeSalvo, the man, and DeSalvo. All right. Yeah. So how long did you play baseball all the way through high school?
Yeah, that was my second sport. I played soccer pretty young. Well, I think I played them pretty much simultaneously when I first started doing sports. I think soccer was a little bit younger, but yeah, baseball was like 6, 7 years old.
What was your position?
I grew up playing. I was a middle infielder, so like second base and third base were my main.
Yeah, you have that build. Honestly, yeah, like
uh,
I was a first baseman and pitcher. I have that. Like,
yeah.
you can look at me and you're like, long motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's probably tossing the rock.
Right. Yeah, no, second and third, middle infield, I would bounce around, and then once I realized I couldn't hit that well in high school, and hitting became harder for me, that's when I became a PO. That became really cool.
Exactly. I started playing golf sophomore year of high school, and I was already set on being a PO in my
Sure.
upperclassmen years because I always just hated the ball being thrown at me. I like throwing it at other people, but I started playing golf, and like my hitting ability in baseball was like noticeably worse, and I wasn't really that good to begin with. But it like I just had like a golf swing. The coach is like,
You need to stop playing golf.
he's like, you're gonna get hit for it. And I'm like, all good. But I just had a thought in my head that I did want to ask, and I just lost it.
I'm an open book.
Oh, it's horrible when things like this happen on the pod. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep rambling.
Baseball. I mean, yeah, pitching was really cool.
So okay, you're in a frat here.
Yeah. I am.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So, yeah, I rushed TDX sophomore year, fall, and I never really fit into like the frat boy kind of stereotype and went along with that. But I did have a lot of fun, and I met a lot of cool people from TDX. Shout out TDX. Not as involved this year, just because I'm, academics and work are kind of my main priorities. I still go to the bar and stuff too with TDX guys all the time. Not all the time, but try to make it out once a week. But
that's pretty cool.
I'm in a frat here.
Yeah, I got a bid freshman year, second semester. I rushed Sig Pi, and I got a big bid at Sig Pi, and that was like the one that I was like, if I were to join a frat, this is the one that I would go to. And then I didn't accept it because I was like, I'm not. Yeah. I'm the type of guy that's like if you try to haze me, I'm fight. Like I would. Like I'm fighting. Like I'm not. Yeah. I'm very.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Kind of like, I wouldn't say territorial, but I know what I like and I know what I don't. And if I don't like something, I'm gonna react.
Sure.
So I was just kind of scared of that dynamic, which I'm actually kind of glad I made that choice now.
Sure.
Yeah. Because last 2 years have been great, and I don't know if that lifestyle would have been great for me in the time. I think that I was too ready to party to be in a fraternity.
It's a lot of partying for sure.
Yeah, and I think that I would have definitely done that part, but I don't think I would have done the school part very well.
Yeah.
I would have done the partying part amazingly. I probably would have been I could have got a D1 scholarship for that part.
Right.
But I chose to focus on academics, which, in retrospect, great idea. But I found the thought that I was looking for earlier. But I just wanted to end this out by talking about how we met, because I'm sure that a lot of people are thinking, it doesn't seem like Kydries knows this kid very well, but he's on his podcast. So what is this all about?
Yeah, so I am in sales right now, and I made my own flyer to post up at Penn State. Last semester, I created the club Penn State Sales and Leadership. So we've been running meetings since then, and it's a really cool club. I think, we welcome everyone from all majors, because sales is one of those things where it's like,
you need it no matter what.
I mean, it's a life skill, so it's very valuable. Whether if it's for the money or for the experience or for the connections, I mean, it kind of hits all the marks of what I feel like a young man would do well with.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I put up flyers all over school. You scanned a flyer, right?
I did scan a flyer. I saw this flyer outside of my African American history class, which is so much fun.
I don't even know what building.
In Willard.
Okay, yeah, Willard.
Third floor Willard too.
Third
You
floor?
went
Yeah,
you went all the way up.
It took me about probably like 3 hours to flyer. 4 hours.
How many kids do you get scanning that thing?
Not too much.
Really?
Not too much. At Penn State, probably like, I'd say so far, maybe like 7.
Really?
Yeah.
That little?
Yeah, I know. I mean,
well,
I don't know how many people check. It's kind of like, it depends on the, like, I don't think a lot of people check those boards. I used to, I think sophomore year, like I said, when I was literally looking at what Penn State had to offer, what opportunities and stuff,
mm-hmm.
I would start checking the bulletin boards. I was like, dude, I need to get in some clubs or something. Like, I just need to be more involved. And I would always go to the boards to do that. So I think that people who, like, kind of have the intention of becoming more involved will kind of, like, outsource those boards. So I guess there's not a lot of people looking for opportunity.
Yeah, no, seriously. I honestly, like, I don't even have like the intention of being like getting involved. Mm-hmm. I'll usually like in the instance of finding your flyer, I stepped out of class to use the bathroom and I'm like, shit, what's another like second? I always like to just look and see what's on there.
Yeah.
Cause sometimes you'll find a flyer that like just should not be up there. Yeah. Like not at all. And it's funny because you can like snap a picture of it and post on your story. What the hell is this? That's always fun. But sometimes you'll find something like the flyer that you hung, which is a sales internship opportunity, that you can scan and maybe you have another opportunity.
Thanks for plugging that, guys. If you wanna, we love to have more members at the Sales and Leadership Club. It's really cool. We got a lot of opportunities coming up. We're going to be bringing on like guest speakers, anywhere from guest speakers to collaborating with other clubs to learning about sales and the opportunities and internships for that. So it's a good way to kind of have a side thing of personal development and opportunity at Penn State.
Yeah, it's really cool. And just repeat one more time the full name of the club so that any viewer that seems interested can.
So the acronym is SLAP. So it's Sales and Leadership at Penn State. You can find it on Org Central or where else? Maybe a flyer on campus. I don't know.
Do you guys have like an Instagram or anything yet?
We do. Yeah. That's a great opportunity to plug.
Perfect.
It is PSU Sales Club, and it's got the SLAP logo as a profile picture.
Well, if you're still here listening, please go give a follow and give a follow to my man. Just look up the name Will Zapata. Give him a follow.
Yeah.
But thanks a lot, Will, for coming here and chatting for a little bit. It's been just an absolute pleasure to have you on and learn a little bit more. Viewer, thank you for supporting the podcast. And do you have any last thoughts before we get out of here?
Hey, keep watching the Sunglass Show.
How about it? Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again. We will see you on Sunday.